Hi guys, welcome back. So today I found a very interesting topic from Good Joseph. Good Joseph is a finance YouTuber. Ako pale YouTube. I will leave the link of the video. It's just a new upload. Just found it right now as I'm reacting to it. Perhaps when you see this video, it will be a bit older. So the video was about, do you build or do you buy when you have 8 million Kenya shillings? So let's see this. Acha tuone. Yeah, acha tuione.
Continue renting for
Let's
now. Let's say you have yourself right now as you speak 8 million and you're contemplating, should I go ahead and buy myself a home, or should I go ahead and continue renting for a little bit of a period of time? And then what exactly is giving you value for your money? And guess what? This is Good Joseph, and I love talking practical things about investment, making money, investing, and anything related to that.
This is an interesting topic because most people have this dilemma, and let's see what he has to say, my good friend.
If you're watching me for the first time, then go ahead and hit that like button. Make sure that you subscribe. Why? Because you'll be notified by a whole YouTube when I upload a new good video. And leave me
Yeah, same here. And subscribe, subscribe na ufinye hiyo nini hiyo
a comment on
notification
the
bell.
comment section. You can agree with me, you can disagree with me, but just leave a question on the comment section if you'd like me to address a specific question. Today we are talking about
Message approved. Do that too.
you having that 8 million somewhere, you're looking forward to buying a home, or should you go the renting way? By the way, let me tell you one secret, what I've come to realize when it comes to the finances. It is good, first of all, to unlearn that what you learned, for you to relearn and get something new. All right, let's get into the business now. Here we are. Okay, when it comes to either buying a home or renting it, or in any way owning a home or having a home, is quite of a very emotive issue. Probably, I know I'm looking forward to you saying, hey, my good Joseph, you should. No, let's get into the business now. Here we are. You have a budget of 8 billion. Should you rent? Should you buy? I've actually drawn two parallel things and check out what gives you value.
Most of financial advices, by the way, let me state it clear. Most of the financial advices you find online, it's one size does not fit all. Okay, it's every advice is specified for a specific person. Hakuna advice ya for every person. So hata nikisikiza advice ya watu wengine, I sieve information that will ni vizuri usikie opinions za watu, but you have to go back to your situation, and everyone has different situations and different habits, especially habits when it comes to money matter a lot. So when hata ukisikiza hii video, whatever concept ako nayo, remember every situation is not the same situation. Your situation is not the same situation as mine, and your habits are not the same habits that I have. So put that in mind when you're doing, especially when you are listening to financial advice.
For your money. Let's start with buying, obviously. See, if you go the buying way, it's quite simple. You simply take your 8 million.
But that does not negate the facts. Okay, facts will always remain as facts. So hata kama situation na habits are different, facts will always remain facts.
Don't go purchase that property that you've seen that's so good, and boom, voila, you are now a home owner. You know, that comes to stability and what have you, and you're so happy about it. Okay, now what exact other taxes or other deductions that will be made there? Okay, number one, the property tax, you have to pay that, and that is not only where I live, it's all over the world. And that's actually, let's say you spend around 15,000 paying for that property.
Good Joseph ako Nakuru. Nakuru ni kunoma, wanalipi hii story ya kulipisha rad rates, hata title I guess wataitisha. So that's a form of a property tax, hizo rad rates. When you are buying rad, also kuna stamp duty na nyumba. So there are so many types of tax that you can incur, but those are very relevant costs. Insurance, naona hapo nikisema insurance.
Two, insurance comes hand in hand.
Insurance, si watu wengi ulipa insurance Kenya, but it's advisable, especially if you have a good house and a big house. Please guys, pay taxes, pay insurance for your houses. It's advisable, but Kenyans tunalipanga insurance ya ile kitu lazima. Hata gari tunalipanga insurance juu lazima tulipe. But if you want to secure your investment, especially because of the amount of money and fires, squeeze by the nimeogopa meko. I have a relative mwenye nyumba yake ilichomeka juzi juu ya kameko. Nimeogopa meko sana.
With it, which is another 15,000 likely of the same. Then the maintenance. Now, this is where most of the people now don't get to understand. See, owning a home is not an investment; it's a liability. Why?
Give or take. Si lazima, si kwa kila mtu. Kwangu, owning a house is an investment. I'll explain why.
Is it a liability? Because you pay to live there. Okay, let me explain. Do you know you pay to live there? How do you pay? Let's say there is sort of what we call landscaping. You need to do some painting. You need to do some renovations. Let's say, for example, you're living in a one-bedroom. You're renting somewhere, and then all of a sudden you have the money. You go build. Let's say
Someone is calling me here. Hi sir. Niaje? Siwacha nikupigie after 5 minutes, after 10 minutes. Nikupigie after 10 minutes.
In approximately how many birds do you have in your home when you say living in a one bedroom? Maybe like 4 or 5. And then the moment you build your own home, you're gonna have security lights, you're gonna have some, I don't know how many rooms do you have and what have you. I mean, like, you have a lot of moving parts when you own a home. I mean, you pay to live there, that's for a fact. By the way, and most of the people don't even do those mathematics. I understand it comes with comfort. I personally loved own a home. It's great. I support it 100% sure. But let's just be honest with each other. You pay to live there. True or not true? Yes, there's some of the deduction that you have to. Some of you guys, you employ, let's say, somebody who is actually helping you in one thing or the other there. Time to time, you'll actually be calling some guys to repair some things. Maybe something has broken there. You get what I'm saying? There is a moving parts in that particular owning a home, okay? And this maintenance, again, it depends. And I've given that a budget of approximately 100K that you set is aside for a whole year if you want to renovate here and there. At times, you may not use that amount of money, and at times, you may use more than that amount of money. Let's just put it aside. That is the money that you pay in, say, in an year for you to maintain that particular place. Let's say, for example, you go buy a property, an apartment. You see, if you buy an apartment, let's say you buy with 8 million, will get you in Kenya, may not.
So other than by the guy is speaking a lot of sense. Owning a home is expensive. I know paying rent, just pay the rent, but also there is the bills. But the bills of owning a home are quite astronomical. And by the way, guys, I do a video on someone. There is a house someone did, awesome house. I've done it. That house by the needed nilifanya why you don't need a fence. Also, that one now has a concept that we solve this, but not for everyone. Guys, as I said, this advice is not for everyone. You can apply somewhere.
Really get you a good 2-bedroom. Maybe let's talk of 10 million or something will get you a 2-bedroom. But again, there are some places where you can buy with that amount of money. I'm talking about the posh areas like of the Kilimani, not really posh per se. Let me just say leafy, places like Kilimani, Kileleshwa, whatever. You can actually, like, okay, let me.
Na sasa apartment ukiona ujue kuna kwanga na service fee hizo, kuna zile fees watu utoa sijui kama kuna apartment block nilikuwa naishi walikuwa naitisha 5K per house, but hii ilikuwa ya Soja peke yake because all the other amenities haiko apartment, ilikuwa sort of an estate. So mtu akikosa kulipa ulikuwa unapata mtu ako kwa wall of shame. Hata walipangi service fee mpaka Soja anakataa kuwafungulia gate sometimes. Okay, it's funny. Yeah.
Let's say you are lucky you get a 2-bedroom with 8 million. There is always that service fee that you have to pay and what have you. All right, probably let's talk of 6,000 around there. So if you multiply that by year, it's actually adding up close to 100,000. Are we together? Okay, for those who own apartments can actually relate to this.
Yeah,
now, the total
true.
maintenance or the total expenses in that particular year, I'm giving it at around, in 8 years, that is giving it around 1.2 million. So if you take a whole year, how much you're going to spend in that particular year, and then you total that for the next 8 years, because obviously, by the way, why am I using in 8 years? I want us to do a very simple mathematics. I want us to purchase this property or compare it with renting this property for the next 8 years and see who got value value for the money for the next 8 years. Now, for the next 8 years, you're going to use approximately 1.2 million or thereabout, or sometimes even more when it comes to the maintenance, 1, 2, 3 here and there. Okay. Now, that means after 8 years, what you're going to end up with is around 9.2 million. The 8 million that you bought, the 1.2 million that you've actually used in terms of what do we call it, in terms of the maintenance and what have you. So you're actually spending 9.2 million at that period of time. Are we together up to that particular point? Now the point is this, of course, I know you're talking about, hey, but it appreciates and what have you. How many of you watching this video have done the research as far as the real estate is concerned in Kenya?
I've done. Before, yeah, I know the appreciation value of properties in Kenya. Acha hizo posh areas, achana na apartments. Apartments are quite tricky. They are depreciating, funny enough. Most of them, especially the more high rise, unapata nyumba kaza. Sasa ulipata, there is a video I did, unapata watu wanafungiana manyumba, right? The moment an apartment imekosa mwangaza, ina depreciate in value kama ni hizo za tao. But normal properties in Kenya, the appreciation value is about 3% per annum. So kama umenunua nyumba saa hii ya 1 million, expect an appreciation value of 3%. That's about 30K. And then next year we expect another appreciation of about 31,000. Hivyo pole pole tu. It's by the way, it's a slow process. Umeelewa? It's a slow process. Na appreciation tunazielewa na let's see what good
that is actually going a little bit way down, and some properties in terms of the land actually they're the ones that are going a little bit high. In lands in Kenya appreciates at a rate of 7%. Around that rate, 7 to 8 to 9%. That's the rate at which they appreciate. And I don't know whether you know this. Do you know the rental income appreciate at a very, very significant rate? And if you want to know whatever I'm talking about, whether it's true, let me ask a very simple question. Where you live right now, how much do you pay per month? Okay, let's say you pay 5,000 or 10,000 or 15,000. When was the last time the rent was increased? Do you know you can live in a property here in Kenya that you're paying, say, 15,000, and you can live in that particular place for even over 5 years, and the rent is still remaining the same?
After say 5 years, after 10 years.
There? So most of the time, structures do not appreciate. Actually, what appreciate mostly is the land.
I give you an example. Okay, this office of mine, simatiki hii ofisi. Hii ofisi ilikuwa inalipwa almost 6 years ago. Hii ofisi nimechukua 2 years ago. See, I remember I wanted this house almost 6 years ago. Na walikuwa nalipisha 1,500. Hii ofisi yangu. Now, today, nikiingia hii nyumba, the first 2 months I paid 1,500. And then from there, tukaongezea bei. After sasa, that's after 4 years from, so within 4 years haikuwa imepandishwa bei, and then wakapandisha bei ikakuwa 2,000 after 4 years, and in 6 years appreciation ya rent imeenda 500 peke yake. So what she is saying is exactly true. Go check even houses that we own here, unapatanga tukaa kuna nyumba tulikuwa tunalipisha 12K before COVID, and then after COVID ikabidi tumewapunguzia to 8K per tenant. What has happened is huyo tenant hatujaiweza kumwongezea pesa tena, ameishi kwa 8K because now he is paying a default. One thing about housing, ukijenga nyumba ya rent kwanza, the moment umeanza kuongezea watu manyumba, especially old clients, old tenants, inakuanga you start losing those tenants. Na hakuna kitu mzuri kwa landlord kama kupata a good tenant analipa rent on time. Huyo unaweza hata mweka within 10 years asiwe ongezewa bei. So yeah, this whatever he's speaking, I agree with him.
You may not agree, but that's true. For those who have been trying to buy properties and what have you, people usually calculate the land prices, not really the structure there, because even the structure is there. For example, personally, I don't love buying a property where you find a structure already there, because probably the structure that is there is not the structure that you'd love and what have you, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, the point is, let's give it an average of, say, 5%. This structure or this property or this home is appreciating at a rate of 5%. And guess what? I'm so generous giving that rate
3%.
So it's appreciating at a rate of 5%. Are we together up to that particular point? So at the end
only positions that appreciate high ni if you are lucky, perhaps highway ama duokari jipitie kwenyu, na ukuwe karibu kwa rami, ama some mining activity, ama a school, ama something extraordinary it happen around that area, that's when rand appreciates in value. But how many times do you know, ni shamba ngapi, ni places ngapi zime happen na those extra kama Thika Road, ama sasa kama sasa huku kwetu kuna Sagana, hii Marwa na Keno Marwa Road venye ime happen, hizo shamba ziko kwa rami. Jana nilikuwa naulizia mtu eka moja, aiambia 12 million per acre. 12 million per acre yenye imeguza rami, yenye imeguza rami wanaenda 6 to 8 million per acre. You see those extraordinary circumstances, that's where rand now appreciates even with 50% within a year ama 2 years. But normally in most cases rand appreciation is about 3%. And yeah,
the 8 years period, you're gonna have yourself approximately 10.3 million. If you were to resell that particular structure or that particular property, you'll actually get yourself around 10.3 million or something of sort, okay, after 8 years. Now the question is, you're spending 9.2, now there you're ending up with around 10.3 or so. Let me say it's at 11 million or something of sort. So if you do the deductions between the 10.3 minus the 9.2, approximately you're talking about a mic or a million or thereabout, okay? That is exactly what you get. But I'm actually been generous. I'm giving it at around 1.8 million to 1.9 billion. Let me just giving it at around that particular amount of money, of which I'm way generous, assuming if you were to resell that structure. Okay, now let's go to the side of the renting. But before we go to the side of renting, don't crucify me on the comment section. Be like, oh my gosh, Lord Joseph doesn't. Sometimes you can't even sell at 20 million. Let me tell you one secret. Something can happen. Maybe a highway has been built next to
yeah,
your home
same
or
here.
something,
Now
but that is not
tunafikiria the
always
same.
the cases. I'm giving it at an average, what we call the common happenings that is out there. All right,
Yeah,
this
true,
is
true.
typically what you get. But let me just say something that just happened. Oil has been discovered underground, below your roof or below your house and whatever. I mean, those are special cases whereby the land or
Naona
that
tunafikiria
property
the
can
same na
actually
good
appreciate at a
Joseph.
very high rate. Okay, now let's go to the side of the renting.
You see, people with common sense. Good Joseph, thank you for even clarifying that. That's common sense. And how many times? It's only 1% to 2% occurrences.
Okay. Now it is you to make a decision which one you can go for. Now, if you go the renting way, let's even say you decide to rent a home worth say 40,000 because you have a family. Of course, you need a privacy. In Kenya, by the way, let me tell you one thing. In Kenya, approximately one bedroom will cost you around 15,000. Two bedroom will cost you around 23,000, and I'm talking quite of a decent place. 23,000, two bedroom. That means three bedroom will cost you up of 30,000. So I'm setting aside 40,000. I just tell you each and every month, take 40,000 rent. With 40,000 in Kenya, you can get an own compound. Well, of course, not in Runda and Keren and Bora.
So this is the issue I have with good Joseph. Someone with 8 million Kenya shillings hata rent nyumba ya 40,000. Mtu anaweza eka pesa ya 8 million cash. Someone with 8 million Kenya shillings hata enda kurent nyumba ya, ni wachache sana watarentio nyumba ya 40k. Ni wachache sana because maisha ina improve, unaona mtu ana save 8 million ni ngumu sana akuwe na nini na nyumba ya 40k especially juu sana. And we are speaking, kwanza venye alisema mambo ya apartment in Kilimani na Kileleshwa, those areas you find a house ya mwenye ana afford kununua akona 8 million in those areas, chances are atakuwa na nyumba ya 80k 70k kwenda juu, you see. So, but let's just use this analogy, which makes sense for a few people.
But you can actually get variety of places that are quite, what we call, our own compound with that amount of money of 40,000. Are we together? Okay. And even if you do not go the our own compound thing, you can actually go. If 40,000 in Kenya, I mean, seriously, you can get yourself like even 2-3 bedrooms or 4 bedrooms or something of sort. You can get quite of a good place. But of course, I'm not talking about posh and elegant areas, because some of you guys will tell me in the comment section, but in Runa it cost 400,000. Come on, that's not what I'm talking about. Okay. Now, let's say you set aside 40,000 each and every month for the purposes of renting. Are we together? So if you were to rent for the next 8 years, okay, let's say if you were to rent for a whole year, it will cost you 480,000. 40,000 multiplied by 12, it's 480,000. So you need 480,000 for the rent for an entire year. Yeah, I know that sounds like, that's a lot of money. Anyway, just hang on. Do you know how much that will cost you? 40,000 or 480,000 multiplied by 8 years will cost you around 3.84 million. That is what you need to set aside for the purposes of renting. And I said, give these two separate people, a period of 8 years. So this guy decides, I have 8 million and I want to buy a home, but I ain't gonna buy a home. I'm not gonna go ahead and do what? A rent. And I'm gonna take out 3.84 million for the purposes of renting. So you set aside that 3.8 million for the purposes of renting. And this is how you do it. You take 3.8 million, of course you take like for the month that you're actually paying your rent, then the rest of the money you throw it in a money market fund. Come on. I don't know that you're getting what I'm saying. You have calculated you need 3.8 million for the purposes of what? For the purposes of rent. But now what you do, you don't take the entire money. I'm actually taking my calculator to calculate here. You don't take the entire amount of the money to actually do what? To pay the rent upfront. No, you don't do that. That is not smart. What I want you to do is to go ahead and take that extra. Maybe you can take a rent for, say, 5 months. If you can take rent for, say, 5 months out of this, that is 40 times 5. 40,000 times 5, that's like 200,000. 200,000, you'll be remaining with 3.6. You take that 3.6 million, you throw it in a money market fund. Don't forget, money market fund gives you interest each and every month, and they compound monthly. So you're actually starting with, take your pen and paper and calculator, because when it comes to numbers, don't lie. So you have yourself 3.6 million, okay? Now, 3.6 million, are we together? That is what you're throwing in a money market fund. And guess for how long you're throwing it? You can even throw it in a period of, say, 1 year or something or sort, but of course not 1 year. But let's say you even throw it for a period of 1 year. That's not even worth even calculating. If you're getting approximately 12% of 3.6 million, 10% of 3.6 million, that's around 36,000. Add a little bit on top of there, you're getting how much? You get
40K.
Talk of about roughly 40 million. That's what you're getting out of this amount of money. 40,000, not 40 million. 40,000 is what you're getting. Now, with 40,000, can you imagine this? If you take 5 years, or rather 5 months,
No, not
the
40,000. Not 40,000. That's 400,000. Hey, boss, not 40,000. That's 400,000 per year.
So for the next 5 months, you pay your rent. Now, 3.6 million you throw it in a money market fund will be giving you approximately 40,000. Can you imagine
Per
this?
month.
Now, the 6th month, the 40,000 is available. The 7th month, the 40,000 is available. And
No,
remember, you're not
per
getting
month,
that
per month.
40,000. You're plowing it back. So meaning the 7th month, the 7th month of literally is your 2nd month, you're getting more than 40,000. So by the time now you need to pay rent for the next 5 months, you already have paid the rent. Are we together? And you still have your cash there, the 3 point something million, it is still in your account. So, and then you wait for another period of time. And then, do you know you can actually play with this amount of money? You can actually end up paying the entire rent of the 8 years, and you still remain with this amount of money, or approximately about this kind of amount of money. I don't know you guys, you're getting what I'm talking about.
I'm sorry, I'm getting.
You have taken 200,000. You are remaining with 3.6. The 3.6.
So let me try to explain venye anasema, anaongea kizungu mingi, anamaanisha hivi, wenye wajaelewa, anasema hivi, chukua hii 3.6 million, eka kwa money market fund, per month utakuwa unapata about 40,000 interest at 12%. Hii 40k interest ulikuwa unacheza na 3.8. Hii 40k interest inakupatia ni ya 3.6 million, already umelipa 5 months. So by the time unafika 6 months in, hata si 6 months ni 240,000, it's 6 months. By the time unafika 7 months in, now the 7th month will be your first month. Amesema 5 months, but hapa ni 7 months. By the time unafika 7 months, which will be your first month, utakuwa ume earn already 40k times 6. Utakuwa umeshapata do ya 40,000 times 6, meaning utakuwa umepata 40,000 times 6, utakuwa by the time unaanza kulipa, utaanza kulipa sasa, utakuwa umesha earn rent yako ya hizo 6 months for the next 6 months. So yani kila month utakuwa unaweza lipa. Wow, that's
a
a
money
nice
market
concept.
fund. If you throw it in a money market fund, 3.6 on approximately of 12% is giving you a roughly 40,000. That means you are living the month 1, month 2, month 3, month 4, month 5 without paying the rent because you paid it upfront. But in those
Makes
5
sense.
months, you are getting an average of another 40, 40, 40, 40. That means you can actually pay for another 5 months without even still touching your 3.6 million. Hello?
Yeah,
Am I
true,
making
true,
sense?
true. Mhm.
That means you're going to live another 5 months and still 3.6 will still be there. Meaning you can actually end the period of 8 years and still have your 3.8, 3.6 million. Are we
Yeah,
together? Now, remember one thing. We only deducted 3.8 million from 8 million. So we are remaining with 4.16. Are we together? We still have another money. Now, this 4.16, we throw it in a what? In a money market fund. This one, we are not taking anything. We are not deducting anything. So the 4.16, throw it in a money market fund, giving you an average of 12%. You're going to end up with around 10.4 million in a period of 8 years. And don't forget, we still have our 3.6. So if you were to add 3.6 here, we actually around 14 million. We're gonna have ourselves approximately of 14 million in
million.
that period
Wow.
of 8
Yeah,
years.
years.
Are we together? Now the question is this: after 8 years, this person has actually decided to sell the property. You're getting around
10.8.
you're getting around a difference of what? 1.8 million. And
1.8
now remember, I
million.
was actually a bit generous here. And see how much you're getting here. You're
Yeah,
actually
6
getting
million.
approximately 6.5 million, and actually 6.6 million, and plus whatever you've actually gained of whatever you are to use for your rent, that is around 3.6. You're actually talking about the language of over 10 million or close to 10 million. That is what you're getting as a return here. So here you are ending up with all the entire cash of your money. And by the way, you can even decide to do this. You can even decide in the period of 8 years, whatever you are getting as your rebate, you can decide even to actualize owning your home at a time, slowly and slowly and slowly. So this is exactly what you're ending up with. You're getting more value compared to you renting. And guess what? This comes with doesn't have a lot of moving parts. There is no maintenance, there is no nothing. It's just relaxing and all those kind of things. So the point is this: it depends. Maybe if you're watching this video in your 50s or 60s.
Ooh, ooh, that was a lesson. Nice one, good Joseph. So this is my opinion here. It makes sense, and I said this in that information. If everything is said, it's good information for. It's good financial advice. By the way, that was solid financial advice, and facts do not change. What he has showed you is facts, but that does not mean you follow that financial advice for yourself. There is other advantages that comes to owning your home, na hapa sasa ndo nitakuja. Kuna other advantages, kuna kuangana the sense of belonging, the sentimental value that you can't, hauwezi pima, na hii hata sana sana haikuangi yako. Most of us, especially when you are single, don't. This is good advice for when you are single, but most of us when ukiwa uko nje, owning a home sana sana is not basically for you, inakwanga juu ya familia, and that value, that sense of belonging is ni kitu huwezi weza kupima financially. And now, with the good thing about homes versus liquid cash, having a home versus liquid cash is you have more or a bigger insurance policy on your money against inflation. Kenya tumeshaikuwa na hit na good inflation in the 90s wakati wa Moi, where bread ilikuwa 5 bob ikatoka ikaenda hivi. Saa hii we are facing huge inflation where 5 million 2 years like 3-4 years ago is like 2 million, 5 million today is like 2 million 5 to 10 years ago. You can see those kind of inflations. Hiyo ndo sasa one thing that you can't really it's a negative towards holding money cash. And then kuna pahali nilisema your habits matter. na habit moja ni pesa ina miguu. Na kama hauna discipline ya kuhold pesa, because a money market unaweza pata ka emergency, money market uende tu kokote. Si amesema, you know, ameweka kila kitu standard. Akasema, hey, you have 8 million umefanya. Having cash, chances of you losing that 8 million with cash money and chances of you losing your 8 million by buying the house, here 8 million with cash on money market is easier to lose and even ipotee ubaki hauna, because sasa utakuwa unapiga hesabu, mimi naweza enda nichape deal ya milioni 2 inipatie milioni 1 within 3 months, hii nimedhokoma nimerudisha, alafu nirudisha pale kwa money market. So the discipline to kukosa hiyo tamaa, juu money market unaweza withdraw na unaweza, it only takes less than a week to get your money back. So that discipline. Na sasa ukichukua pesa uiweke kwa high risk, kupotea kwa high risk ni 50-50, kuwekelea kwa business 50-50. Naona, na hapo ndo sasa unasikianga watu walisota, ulikuwa na pesa mingi ukasota. So what I mean is fighting against inflation, fighting against things that you can't control. Having a home it's more safe. And for those people who are risk, kuna watu wanapenda risk, maisha yao ni risk. Mimi si mtu risk taker sana. Staki mambo, especially when you have a family, you don't want to expose your family to a lot of risk. No, that's why now you end up building a home. So it's good financial advice and facts. I said even in the beginning of this video, facts cannot change. Whatever I may present, those are facts. One thing amesahau ni counting against inflation. Inflation in Kenya iko 5 to 9%. Kuna time hata ilikuwa imefika 9%. Sijui ni last year ama ni last year but chances are last year wakati wa Ruto 2023. Saa hii hata sijui inflation iko wapi. So fighting against that is the issue, and working against such things that you can't things that you can't control. So I will say this is advice that I will not give. And then kumbuka juu ya inflation, hii nyumba alisema ina appreciate. Ni ukweli, at least it's having appreciation. Mesa inapunguka. The more uko na cash kwa mfuko, just holding that cash inapunguka. Hata kama unapata 12% na inflation ni 5%, so hii pesa bado itakuwa, yani holding value for that money, it's almost the same thing. Yes, utakuwa na 14 million, but that 14 million ukirudisha nyuma because of the inflation factor, itakuwa story ingine. Anyway, those are very complex mathematics. I could do it on that, but all I'm saying is that, guys, be careful and be careful, because real estate will hold value for you. And this is advice. Mtu mwenye hana temperate kubwa, mtu mwenye hana risk damu ya risk sana, construction, buying your own home is better than renting. Kama wewe ni mtu uko open, you are good to deal with stress na risk, rent my guy. And if you are a single person, rent. If you are married, I would advise you, and you have kids, I would advise you go for the option of owning a home. Not only through the financial advantages, also the emotional and feel and those life other advantages that you get by owning. That sense, unaingianga kwa nyumba yako, kasa inajenga nyumba yangu, the moment kasa inaeka tiles, then nimetoka hapo tu sahi, nikiingia una feeling, trust me, that feeling is, you can't purchase that feeling. Hiyo sense ya hata kama nyumba haijaisha, ukiingia hapo una feel something, and this is all about temperament. Your temperature, your temperature, whatever. Your temperament, or whatever. So it all depends on that. So guys, thank you for watching, and for those who have watched till the end, I appreciate sana. Thank you. See you next time, and thank you, and remember to subscribe and share. See you next time, guys.